5 points between them, 6 games into the Championship season. Stoke have certainly had the strongest start to the campaign compared to the Canaries, but can they make it count here? Both clubs coming into this on the back of arguably their worst performances of the season last weekend. Stoke, though, have won 2 from 3 here at home in the second tier, whilst Norwich have 7 points from 9 on their travels. A fine away record that cuts a clear contrast with their struggles at Carrow Road, where they are yet to pick up a single point. They're on an excellent 9-game unbeaten run against today's opponents, though, and Norwich, they haven't lost at Stoke since this was a Premier League fixture 9.5 years ago. Creswell again, Sorba Thomas has been dispossessed here. Makama for Norwich. Sargent on the move in front of him. Schwartau trying to get there as well. He's found Sargent. His Stoke appeal for offside. Sargent able to get the shot away, forces the save from Viktor Johansson because that flag never came. In the context of the start that he's had to this season, it was a chance for Norwich City's number 9. Here's Fisher, a young player of the year last season. It was a disappointing campaign for Norwich City, ended up in the bottom half of the table. 11 points short of the playoff positions. Hence the change of manager just before the end of the campaign. They ended it actually with Jack Wilshere, didn't they, in interim charge for a couple of games. To Johannes Hoff-Torup's tenure came to an early end. Liam Manning appointed in the summer as the replacement. A big rebuilding job to a certain extent. Good ball forward by Manhoef. Bae on the charge, tries to bundle it in, and it's well defended by Medic in the end, who was just able to get there in time. Well, Bae Junho didn't necessarily know an awful lot about that, and yet his presence was about to prove important, it appeared, for the Potters. Timing that run well in between the 2 centre-backs. Support from Seko. Chamadou, Manhoef, back to Junior Chamadou, and the intention was to return it to Millen Manhoef. It will eventually fall at his feet, not quite necessarily where he was expecting it. He tries to find Sorba Thomas. Creswell back for Thomas again, with time to take a touch and then have a hit. And there was some purchase in the shot as well. That was an important block. Kenny McLean was the Norwich City player on the receiving end here, but the Norwich City player in the right position, as it turned out, to deny Sorba Thomas. Pelle Madsen, and only his second Norwich City appearance. He made his debut last week against Wrexham, being joined from the Danish club Silkeborg. He's back on the ball here and picks a good pass for Stacey. Plenty queuing up in the middle, and in from Makama. Got the merest of touches to it, and it was all that it needed. And Jovan Makama scores on his first Norwich City start. And having come under real pressure in the Potteries in the game's opening quarter, it is Norwich City who lead. His second goal since his arrival from Lincoln City in the summer. Player they paid over £1 million for to bring in from League One. He couldn't miss that one though, could he? He owed much to Jack Stacey. It wasn't the most assured of finishes on the line from Makama, but it mattered not for Norwich. He was in the right place to apply it. Won't score many easier than that, really. So Norwich very close to being able to take a slender lead into the interval. Just as they did, though, last week against Wrexham, and ended up empty-handed. That's why they're going in search of a second, maybe, but a little miscommunication in midfield could cost them. Forward by Rigo for Sorba Thomas. And Thomas is away here. He's got 3 to try and pick out in the penalty area. It's Rigo, and it's wide. And it was a chance for Thomas Rigo, but Norwich just had enough in the way to deny him a clear, clean sight of goal. Kenny McLean is the one that got something on it just to turn it away, to make sure it missed that target. One shot saved and one decent cross that went across the face of goal. But otherwise he's been kept fairly quiet. And Stoke advance with Millen Manhoef. And it's still here with Manhoef, who did get his shot away at the end of that, but relatively comfortable for Kovacevic. Manhoef was hoping to leave wrong-footed maybe. On target, but the goalkeeper able to gather it up and watch it all the way. Chamadou. Johansson with height and distance on his clearance. Obama helping it on. Here is Manhoef once more, running at Medic this time. Million Manhoef support arriving again, he takes it on. The goalkeeper gets something on it, but Sorba Thomas is there. And a shade over 2 minutes into the second half, Stoke City are level. Parity restored in the Potteries. And a third goal of his first Stoke City season for Sorba Thomas was the one in the right place to pick up the pieces. Bae Junho played his part, as did Million Manhoef, who took over, took on the Norwich City defence, took on the shot. And although Kovacevic got a strong hand to it, it fell favourably for Sorba Thomas, who did the rest decisively. Thumps it in, back across Kovacevic. He was left helpless ultimately when it fell the way of Stoke City's Welsh international. Seko has been beaten to that, and it breaks for Sinats, taking on Chamadou. He defended it well. Rigo helping him out. Now Kenny McLean gliding through the gears for Norwich, and it's a lovely ball for Gibbs at the end of it as well, and Gibbs will have a go and forces Johansson into the save. Excellent passage of play. Liam Gibbs denied here. The angle looked against him, but it needed the fingertips of Viktor Johansson to turn this away from trouble. Lowell. Manhoef loves to cut inside. Little flick by Bae. Obama trying to get there, and does get there. Just couldn't quite find the finish. It's a fraction behind Million Manhoef, who's still trying to make something of it. Wants the penalty. The referee says no. Nearly came the way of Sorba Thomas again just after that as well. They'll have to settle for the corner here, will Stoke City. But they are the ones asking all of the questions. Divine Mubama almost on the end of that. Manhoef going down under pressure from Matson. Feeling maybe he was manhandled a little bit by Matson, but the referee more pertinently disagreed. They have to settle for this corner kick. Sorba Thomas is going to take it. In by Thomas. Oh, not quite in on the follow-up. It was another big chance for Stoke City. They are getting closer and closer. Bae Junho met it first time, and it nearly came back to him, just wasn't able to react when it did. Seko forward. Bama's come a bit deeper to get involved in the build-up this time. Seko again, Million Manhoef. Thomas, back for Manhoef. Oh, so unlucky. Back off the base of the post with Kovacevic beaten. And a mightily relieved spectator to see that one stay out. Well, he's been a real threat throughout, hasn't he, Million Manhoef? That was nearly his moment. Wilmot's free kick. Chamadou takes a tumble. And what's the referee going to give here? Well, Chamadou certainly felt he was fouled. And the boos ring out from the home fans, who were expecting Elliot Bell to point to the penalty spot. Up against Kellen Fisher. Looked like he just got in front of Fisher, but in fairness to the fullback, he didn't really commit to the challenge there, did he? He immediately turned to the referee, expecting to see that penalty awarded. Wilmot. They come back at him pretty quickly, though. He wasn't able to pick the pass. Here's Chiernats slipping it through for Sargent. Big save. Johansson out quickly. And importantly, at the feet of Josh Sargent, just the player that Norwich would have wanted in that position. Viktor Johansson did really well up against him. Ooh, borderline, wasn't it? Whether he just held the run. As Chiernats slipped it through to him. As Lowell appealed for offside. Johansson rendered the argument academic anyway. Plenty committed forward for this. It will be Cresswell to take. McLean was in there. It's off a Norwich City head, it's a corner, and it's 5 added minutes from here for either team to find a winner, but it's the home fans who feel their side are they much more likely to do so at the moment. Everyone that had ventured forward for that free kick still in there for Cresswell's corner. Guided away from immediate trouble, a chase on for Sorba Thomas, he will reach it, and he will return it, and it's a good one, and it's flicked on just too high. And only just too high. Stoke getting closer and closer. Cisse looking for his first goal for the club. And the goalkeeper wasn't getting it, had it dropped underneath the crossbar. It's for Chamadou, but he has given it away to Kenny McLean, who will continue his run and get it back again. He's got Sargent on the move in the middle, and that is going to be that. And they will have to settle for a point apiece. Well, Mark Robins saw his side make a super start to the second half and get back on terms just a couple of minutes into it, thanks to Sorba Thomas's goal. And from there on in, the Potters certainly felt that all 3 points were within their reach. They looked the likelier to get them, but they have fallen just short. And Norwich City do remain unbeaten on their travels in the Championship this season. And both teams have to settle for a point apiece. Full time at the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke City 1, Norwich City 1.